Okay, first off today, we're going to start with grammar like normal. I'm going to walk you through the main boxes and then I'll let you get to work. So, the last few lessons were a bit of a review with comparatives. Now, this unit, I think you guys shouldn't have a hard time grasping it. It might be some new stuff, but it should be stuff you're kind of used to hearing and using whether you knew it or not. So we're going to be talking about modal verbs. A modal verb is when we're talking about the ability, we're asking permission to do something, or we're asking for advice. So ability would be like if you are able to do something, if you can do it. Ability, we use can. Permission, we use may. Permission is like asking if you can do something. And you're asking someone who has the authority to tell you yes or no. And then advice, we use should. So advice is like if you're asking a friend, should I go, or should I wear this shirt, or should I wear this shirt? Because you want their opinion. All right. So ability, like I said, we use can. It expresses that someone or something is able to do something in the present or future. Could is the past form of can. So if you want to ask about the ability in the past, ability of something or someone, we would use could instead. We use can for present and future. Now, if we're asking permission about something, like may I go to the bathroom, we use may and can to give or ask for permission. May is used in a formal or polite situation. So they're kind of interchangeable, may and can, pretty much equal. But if you're asking someone who is older than you or your teacher, it's more polite to use may. May I go to the bathroom? May I use your pencil? It's just being polite. You could also say, can I go to the bathroom? Yes or no. Can I borrow your pencil? It means the exact same thing. May is just a little bit more formal when you're trying to be polite or nice. Now, advice, we use should. Should is used to give advice or talk about what is right or wrong. Should I walk to the supermarket? No, you shouldn't. It's going to rain today. Should I wear this blue shirt? Yes, you should. It looks really good on you. Or if we're talking about what's right and wrong, like you should go to bed early so you get enough sleep. You shouldn't eat candy all day, every day, because you might get sick. All right, so here's some examples here. For ability, when we use can you jump high? I can't swim well. Now we add that N apostrophe T to make a contraction, or you could say cannot. If we're talking about the past, we use could. I could read when I was 5. I still can, but I learned how to read when I was 5, so I could when I was 5. Permission, you may or can leave the room now, either one. You may not or cannot make noise during the test. May I watch TV for a while? Can I watch TV for a while? Either one works fine. And then some advice. You should take a rest. You shouldn't eat too much salt. Or question, should we buy tickets in advance? Okay, so refer back to that as needed. I'm going to move along here. The first thing you need to do is circle the correct words. So you have 2 options and you need to figure out which one you're doing. So you need to decide if you're talking about ability, permission, or advice. And then you know which one you need to use. You look tired. You could or should sit down for a few minutes. Now, I'm trying to tell someone what I think is a good idea. So I'm giving them advice. You should sit down for a few minutes. All right, you can do the rest. Then when you're ready, jump down to number B and complete the sentences with the words and the bank. So I am smart, I blank solve different math problems. I may solve, I can't solve, I can, or I shouldn't. So you need to read the whole sentence to decide what needs to go in the blank. And cross them off as you go. Okay, let's keep on moving. Once you're done with those, we'll go to the next page. Necessity, must, and have to. So, before we were talking about ability, permission, and advice. Now we're talking about necessity. Necessity is something that has to be done or it's very important to do. So when we're talking about necessity, we use must and have to show that something is necessary and very important to do. We use must not when an action is prohibited, that means not allowed, and we use don't have to when an action is not necessary. So let's see what we've got here. You must check the brakes in your car. That's something that you have to do, otherwise it's not safe, it's necessary. Something you shouldn't do, or it's prohibited. Prohibited means not allowed. You mustn't play with matches, or you could simply say must not. You shouldn't play with matches because it's not safe, so you must not. That's something maybe an adult would say to you. We can also use have to. I have to get up early tomorrow. Maybe I have class in the morning, or I have something I need to do, so it's necessary. He has to walk to school today. Mom can't take him to school. The bus, he missed the bus, so he has to walk to school. Now our negative, she doesn't have to buy a ticket. Don't have to, it changes on our subject. So if it's a she, we would say doesn't. She doesn't have to buy a ticket. It's not necessary. Maybe it's free. Maybe someone already bought her ticket. And one more in the past tense. I had to email my teacher yesterday. Something I had to do, it was necessary. Maybe I had to tell my teacher that I forgot to do my assignment, or I had to email my teacher my homework. Past tense, we just need to change our has to have. Okay. So the players must follow the rules. We could also say the players have to follow the rules. They mustn't argue. We would not say they don't have to argue. That's a little different. When we're talking about not, we have a difference here. If we say must not, it's not allowed. They don't have to, it's not necessary. It's a little bit different. They don't have to argue is different than saying they must not argue. She had to wait for the interview. Past tense. Something she did yesterday or the day before, but it was necessary. There was someone else in the interview. All right, let's keep on moving. Complete the sentences with must and mustn't. So we need to decide if it's something we have to do or something we should not be doing. It's prohibited. We blank speak English during our English class. Well, I hope you're speaking English during English class. So what would the correct one be? Must or mustn't? And fill in the rest. Part B here, match the sentences. So you have first half and then the following. Someone stole our car. What are we going to do if someone stole our car? We must dry clean it. You don't have to buy one. We have to call the police. He mustn't open his book. I had to make dinner for her. He has to come back tomorrow. Well, the first thing I noticed, I'm not sure what my answer is. Here I said our. Someone stole our car. So the next thing is something we must or mustn't do. Only we I see is right here. We have to call the police. And that makes sense. If someone steals your car, you should call the police. So pay attention to the subject and what's being said to see if it makes sense. Okay. More pages here. So now we are doing the stuff we saw on the first page. We have can't, can, may not, could, and couldn't, and we need to fill in the blanks. I had a headache last night, so I blank sleep well. If you had a headache, your head hurt, would you be able to sleep well or not? Also, it was last night, so think about the past. Okay, and fill in the rest of those blanks as well. Cross them off as you go. Part B, choose and complete the sentences using should or shouldn't. So this is advice. You need to decide should or shouldn't, and then pick your verb. It's very cold outside. You blank your coat. It's cold. I want a coat. So I should wash, heat, wear, drive by. I should wear. It's cold. I wouldn't tell someone not to wear their coat. You should wear your coat. So should or shouldn't, and then pick the verb. Boop. All right. Moving forward. Complete the dialogues with mustn't or don't, doesn't have to. So these are all negative. You need to decide if it's, let's look at our options here, if it's something that is prohibited, not allowed, or just something that's not necessary, they don't need to do. So this is a nice place for camping. Look at the sign. We blank camp here. So we know it's negative. We can't camp here. Would that be something that's prohibited? A sign would tell us we're not allowed to camp here, or just not necessary. Okay, it's prohibited. We're going to use mustn't. If it's just not necessary, we're use don't, doesn't have to. So think about that. There's a sign that said telling us we can't camp there. Which one are we going to use? Okay. So they're all negative, but you need to decide between these. And don't or doesn't depends on the subject. Last page. Olivia has some problems. Choose and complete her teacher's advice. So let's look at her problems together. English is too difficult for me. I don't like English. I can't study at home because I have two noisy sisters. I have a problem getting up early in the morning. So now we're going to, this is her teacher talking and giving her some advice. So English is fun. You should or may not, and then we need a verb here, some English books. So I'm giving advice. I'm going to use should, right? Should. I wouldn't tell someone not to read if I'm their teacher. You should blank some English books. Read some English books. I gave it away already. Okay. Then keep on moving. Decide which one it is, mustn't or can, and then pick the verb. You blank books from the school library. All right. Fill in all of those. And then our last part, like normal, there are 10 things underlined. 5 of them are incorrect. Write the numbers and fix the mistakes on the lines. All right. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know at the end of class. That's it for grammar.